Hey, what's up everybody? It's Ben here. Thanks for watching the Source Skater Studio. Last week I had a video about addressing back knots from skateboarding because a Redditor asked me a question about getting back knots as well as calf knots in skateboarding. So this video today is about the calf knots part, and it's going to be kind of in a similar format to the video last week with one warm-up idea for before skateboarding, one strength building idea to kind of strengthen the muscles where weakness might lead to calf knots. So if you make it stronger, calf knots become less likely to happen after your skate sesh. And then one stretch to get rid of the calf knots after your skate sesh. So something to do as a cool down after skateboarding or before you go to bed. And yeah, that's it. So let's get started. Our first thing will be the warm up. So this warm-up here is something I've been doing before skating recently because it's great for really the whole lower body, hips, knees, legs. It's awesome for just getting all those muscles ready to go and more prepared for the session. So you start out in a kneeling lunge. I'm going to have my right foot in front first, and the back toes and the left foot will be tucked to kind of have a more active aspects going on back there. And I usually start by lifting my back knee off the ground for just a couple seconds to really purposefully put more weight into the front foot so I can like squeeze the right glute and the right hip down toward the right foot. That's going to help activate this leg. I'll squeeze the thigh too. And that's just kind of to get set up. Do that a couple times. What we'll do is we'll breathe in, and when you breathe in, get nice and tall through the spine. Try to stay tall the entire time, and also keep your core engaged lightly to just hold your body nice and steady. We want both hips kind of lined up evenly, so the right hip and the left hip are right next to each other. And when we're ready, as you breathe out, move both hips forward and let the knee come forward too until the knee is about over the front toes or a little bit in front of the toes. And then as you inhale, bring it back. So exhaling, shifting the hips forward, shifting the whole body forward. Knee comes above your toes or maybe a little bit in front of the toes. Breathing in, coming back. And we'll go for about 5 of these. The entire time you're trying to activate pretty much everything in the front leg. So your thighs are squeezing, your glutes and your hips are pushing down. You might pull this foot back to increase engagement. Try to engage the calf and the ankle as well. So you can imagine pulling the top of the front foot up toward the ceiling. That'll help with ankle engagement. And then just squeeze the calf too. Hips stay lined up, so you'll probably feel a nice stretch through the left hip. And I think I already did 5. I'm going to do one more. And then switch. So again, here you're starting with the left foot in front now. My left knee is right over my left ankle. My back toes are tucked. I'm just going to lift the back knee up for a couple seconds. Do that a couple times to practice pushing down through the left foot, left glute and left hip. Squeeze down toward the floor and toward the left foot. And when I'm ready, breathing in to get nice and tall. Breathing out, staying strong through the core. Moving my knee forward until it's above the toes or a little bit in front of the toes. Breathing in, coming back to the middle. Keeping my core engaged the whole time. Really working on engagement throughout the front leg. Involving the calf, the ankle, the thigh in this movement. Breathing in to come back. Breathing out to go forward with both hips and the knee. And going for about 5 there. So really when you use that as a warm-up to a skate sesh, you could do like 5 to 10 of those, and that would be great. And the reason I recommend that for the calf knots is because it works the calf and everything surrounding the calf. So when you work the things that surround the area of concern, that helps those things to turn on more and support the area of concern in a better way. So strengthening your calves should help you address the calf knot issue in the long term, because the stronger your calves, as well as your ankles and your whole leg are, the better able they'll be able to perform and sustain the kind of effort you put them through when you skate. So this exercise is going to work calf and ankle strength. It'll really work the whole leg strength. So it's just a basic 1 foot standing posture. Almost any posture that gets you on one foot will help you strengthen those areas. This one's called standing march hold. So I like to start with a wall next to me. I'm going to start with my right foot next to the wall, and I'll lift my left leg so my left knee is about hip level. I'm going to start by holding the wall with my right hand, resting the left hand on top of the left thigh. Now, when I begin, I really focus on pushing down through the right leg, so I'm activating my right glute muscle, my right hip, pushing down there. I'm squeezing the top of my foot up toward the ceiling as a way to activate my ankle to stay stable on the ground. And then I'm flexing my calf muscle to stay strong through that area as well. And I start breathing in, getting taller, elongating my spine, breathing out, squeezing my core, really squeezing all the muscles in my right leg to get stable. Eventually, after a few breaths, I might take my hand away from the wall. Maybe I'll put it above my head, or maybe I'll hold it more like down here, whatever I'm feeling at the time. And if you want some extra challenge, as you breathe out, push your left thigh into the left hand and the left hand down into the left thigh. So pushing those together will demand more core strength. It'll demand more strength throughout the right leg as well, just to stay balanced. And you may fall over, that's fine. You know, if you find yourself kind of wiggling around, if you're falling over and you have to get back up, cool, no worries. That's just part of the process of building strength, is failing and getting back into it. So again, really, since we're talking about calf knots, focusing on getting the calf active here, getting the ankle active as well. And so then you'd switch sides. You want to do an even amount on each side. So, you know, I'd come with my left side to the wall now, stand on my left foot, lift the right knee about hip height, resting my right hand on the right knee, breathing in, getting tall through my spine, breathing out, squeezing all the muscles in my left leg, pushing the left glute muscle, left hip down toward the floor, squeezing the left foot upward to activate the ankle, and then flexing my calf muscle as well to get that involved. Trying to stay stable here. Eventually I might take my hand away from the wall once I'm feeling really good, and then as a strengthener, push my right thigh into my right hand and my right hand down into my right thigh. All right, so that standing march hold is a strengthening exercise you could do as just a daily routine to build more calf strength, or you could do it as part of your warm-up to skateboarding. I think it'd be a great part of the warm-up if you want to do the lunge forward and the standing march hold. Those are both great skate warm-ups. All right, now on to the stretch, which will be the last thing today. All right, so to finish up today, we're gonna do that stretch, which again is something I recommend you do after your skate session as a cool down or before you go to bed. Definitely not as a warm-up, because it is intended to put your calves into rest mode, get them ready to chill out and recover from their use. So hopefully they feel less sore tomorrow and just better in general. So for this, you'll want a wall. We're gonna use the wall and lean on it. I want you to start off in a very shallow lunge with your right foot in front, so not nearly to the depth that you can possibly go, and put both hands on the wall in front of you. Rely on the hands the whole time, but also keep your chest lifted and keep your spine long. You might forget to do that. You might start to hunch over throughout the exercise. You might start to crunch your back, but try to remember to keep the chest up, spine long whenever you remind yourself. And again, the legs are in an easy lunge. I want you to start off with your back foot knee bent. So the left knee has a slight bend to it, but keep the left heel on the ground. And I want you to start off in a lunge shallow enough so that both of those things are easy for you. Back knee bent and back heel on the ground. Should be nice, easy, and accessible at the beginning. And then slowly start to crawl your foot back and experiment with stopping in certain places and see if you can still keep your heel on the ground while your knee is bent. And I want you to go to the point where it's still possible for you. It's not uncomfortable to have heel on the ground and knee bent, but go to the point where you are getting a stretch through the calf. So you want to look for a sensation of stretch, and your leg might shake a little bit like mine is right now. That's okay. As long as you don't feel anything that might tear or injure you, you know, don't go so deep that you might hurt yourself, but go deep enough until you get that sensation of stretch throughout the back calf. I'm actually going to crawl my foot back forward a little bit because it's maybe too deep for me. Again, heel is on the ground, knee is bent. You may want to create the sensation of having to reach your heel toward the ground. So maybe naturally it would be more natural for you to lift your heel, but you got to reach it toward the ground with your ankle and your calf, while again still keeping the knee bent. That's going to give the calf a nice stretch. When you find a sweet spot for that, then just hold it there for 3 or 4 breaths. Again, relying on the hands the whole time, keeping the chest up. My right knee, my front leg's knee, is bent directly over the front ankle, but not too much effort from the front leg. Maybe a little bit to push into the ground and stabilize, but we're not really working that strength-wise. We're more just thinking about the stretch through the back calf, knee bent, heel on the ground. Now, after staying in this stretch for a few seconds, what I want you to do is see if it's comfortable for you to straighten the back knee by activating the thigh, the back thigh, and notice how that shifts the stretch from the calf into the back of the ankle. And so you'll stay in your sweet spot there. That sweet spot may be different from the first sweet spot. So maybe, with the calf stretch, with your knee bent, your sweet spot is like way back here. But then to straighten the knee and still feel comfortable having the heel on the ground, you got to crawl the leg forward. So you might need to readjust there. Again, find your sweet spot. Now the left leg is straight, my knee is not bent. My heel is still on the ground, and I'm feeling more of the stretch in the back of my ankle. And getting that back of the ankle stretch is going to help loosen up all the muscles near the calf. So it's going to help to reduce those calf cramps or whatever you might have after your skate session. And of course you want to switch sides. So then putting my left foot in front now, left knee bends over the left ankle, still got both hands on the wall, holding my chest up high, core lightly engaged just to keep my spine nice and long. Starting with my right leg, knee bent, heel on the ground, crawling it back, keeping the right knee bent, keeping the right heel on the ground until I feel a good stretch in the right calf that feels, like a good stretch, but still comfortable. I'm not tearing anything, I'm not going crazy, not pushing too hard, just looking for a good stretch. When I find that sweet spot, remembering to keep my chest and head up, using the wall for support, maybe pushing down a little through the left leg, holding my core lightly tight for support. Taking a few breaths to stretch out that right calf. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to readjust and find my sweet spot with my back leg straightened, heel still on the ground, moving that stretch into the back of the right ankle. Finding my sweet spot there, and again, just breathing for 3 or 4 slow, controlled breaths, in the nose, out the nose. Again, stretching the back of the ankle is going to help loosen up the calf as well. And that'll be that. So that's the calf stretch to do as a cool down. And that's this episode of the Sore Skater Studio. So thanks again for watching. My name is Ben, and this has been a video on addressing back and calf knots when skateboarding. Today was the calf portion, last week was the back portion. But I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if anything here is particularly helpful, or if you have critiques of me and feedback to give, that's great too. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.